We're just going to go over some basic geometry today, some terms, all of which you've probably heard before. So take some notes on this, draw with me as I go. We are first going to talk about a line. Okay, you might think, oh, this is simple, I know what a line is, but just to clarify, a line must have an arrow at both ends. A line goes on and on and on in either direction. And there are infinitely many points along this line. We couldn't even count them. If I can like put them in blue, there's infinitely many points all along this line. But usually we just need to, well, we always just need 2 points to name a line. And when we name a line, we name it with its 2 points, A, B, and you have to put a little symbol of a line with 2 arrows at the top. That's how you label line A, B. Okay, so things to remember are how to label it, that it goes on and on in both directions, and then it has infinitely many points on it. Now, a segment or a line segment does not. It does not go on and on forever. It has a beginning point and an end point. Okay, but we do still need 2 letters to label it, even though there's more points along here, right? But we only care about the end points. And the way we label that is with the 2 letters and a bar across the top, but no arrows. Now you can put bigger dots here if you want, but you don't have to. Okay, so that's a segment. Now, also in that family is array. Array has 1 endpoint and 1 arrow. Okay, and again, there's infinitely many points along there, but we only care about the endpoint and another point on the array somewhere. Okay. Now we always name it starting with its endpoint. So no matter what direction it goes in, we always name it starting with the endpoint. So keep that in mind, okay? That when I label it, no matter what direction this is going in, it is Ray ST. So we use the endpoint first, and then we draw that label on top of it, and that says Ray ST. Now you're going to have to label things on your homework tonight, and you need to use the proper symbol. If it's a line, be sure it looks like that. If it's a segment, it must look like that, and if it's a ray, it must look like that. Okay, I'm going to take these away so they don't get confusing. So an example, they'll also ask you for examples of things in real life. So a good example of a ray might be like a flashlight beam, okay? That comes out of a flashlight and goes on, right? But it has an end point or a beginning point. So let's look at a plane. A plane is kind of like the top of your desk or your table or your wall or something. And it's really hard to draw a plane, and here is why. It's a flat surface, but it goes on in every direction. That's why it's really hard to draw. Okay, it's any flat surface, the top of your book, the top of your desk, and invisible planes that we cannot even see. Okay, but we always name them with 3 letters. You have to have 3 letters to name a plane. And so if this were like X, Y, Z, right, we would call this plane X, Y, Z. All right. Now we didn't talk about points, but a point is just, one of these endpoints that we've talked about. Okay, and well, I'll write that down here for you. A point, okay? A point is just a point. The tip of a needle is a point. There's trillions of invisible points, infinitely many invisible points all around us. But a clear example is the point of something, the corner of something, and we would just name that point A. That's all that would be. And they usually have a letter. So lastly, we're going to talk about angles, and we'll be talking about more angles tomorrow, I think. And an angle is two rays together. Okay, an angle is two rays together. And you have to have three letters, and there are three different ways to name it. Okay, so you could have angle A, B, C. And we could either call it angle A because of the vertex. You always use the vertex if you're going to name it with one letter. Or you could call it angle BAC or angle CAB. The important thing is that this vertex letter right here is always in the middle, or it's the one that we use here. You can't call it angle. This is not angle B. Now, and it's not angle C. Okay. Now, if B or C was the letter of the vertex, we could call it that, but otherwise we cannot. Okay. So these are the things that are going to help you tonight on your homework. So keep your notes out and be sure to upload them when you're done.